Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome to episode 107 of Shrigleytube TV. Massive thanks for all the comments last week. Really enjoyed reading every one of them. Absolutely brilliant, especially the nice positive ones that I got some making my head get bigger there. I've had a good week. I've got to be honest, I'm going to let you down now and say the Husky engine, the V8, it won't be going in the Husky for National Weekend. Too much work to do. I have to concentrate on what I'm supposed to be doing, not on what I'll be doing. So we're going to kibosh all this till after the holiday, and then when we get back, we'll look at it again. But it does run, so there's a little bit of it running, and only for a few seconds, but it did make a noise. So that's on the end of the video. Got all sorts, plenty of visitors, plenty going on. Hope you enjoy what you see, and I look forward to seeing you all next week at 7, Sunday at 7. But we will have a Tuesday night video from Alton Park Gold Cup, and also hopefully a video from Gold Cup from Bradford, which will be the semi-finals of the Brisker Formula 1 stock cars. So that'll be absolutely awesome. That great. Look forward to seeing you next Sunday at 7. Have a great week. Bye for now.
Good evening. I've just rocked up at, he's clocked me, at Gary's house, and I've come in my green Audi. He's painted my bumper very kindly. He's done a superb job. He sent me some pictures, and I thought, while I'm here, I'm going to try with a proposition, because I'm going to try and get him to paint my green Audi for me. I don't think he'll bite, but I'm going to try and give him something that'll be a bit of a carrot to encourage him to do it, because he'll turn this around in a week. He's that efficient at what he does. I just want it blowing over, basically. But anyway, we'll go and speak to him, see what he says. I'm in Gary's toy shed. He's agreed to talk to me again. Gary, what a toy shed, mate. Look at the bumper. I'm absolutely over the moon with that, mate. You've done me proud again. Thank you very much.
All right.
That is absolutely brilliant. I've got something for you in the car here. Come this way, my mate.
Right.
Look. Oh, look, I've not come in Percy Passat.
No, you're in the other Audi.
I've come in my treat car. Yeah. I love this car. The missus isn't so keen on it. Oh, you have to try that on, mate. I thought it was a medium. Is that right?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Oh, belting.
Hoodie?
Yeah,
Oh, no,
hoodie.
I'll
Keep you warm in winter when you're working.
I've got a heater in here, so I don't need it, but I'll put it on in here.
Good lad, good lad. Now, I've got a bit of a proposition for you, mate. You know, I've been thinking about you, and you've always built your own engines, and I know that you like to achieve yourself and all the rest of it, you know. And I was thinking to myself, you know, you're messing about with... I don't want to knock what you do, it's great.
Look at that.
But
Snug as a bug.
oh, you look mint in that, mate.
I'll have to have that on the YouTube now, won't
Yeah, would you please?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll put it on my
Be
next
brilliant.
video.
Oh, it looks cool, that, mate. What I was going to say was all this malarkey with, like, you know, sport size valves and ports and M14 cams and all that, right? It's like, I don't know how to describe it to you the best way, but like an Illman engine, people try and get torque out of them, yeah, and put mild cams in them. But realistically, mate, they're not set up for torque. They're set up for RPM and horsepower, you know? So, you know, you put like, you've got a good plan with your 998, good, you know, that's great. That new block, I like new parts, new pistons, great, good crank, rods, that's all good as gold. But the head, I think you'd really benefit if you put a big valve head on it. Got some
bigger valves for it, next size up, that'll go in the normal seats.
They're okay. Let's just see where you want to be first. But really, you put a full race 400,000 cam in it, proper steel followers and all that, proper springs and caps. And you've got a good chance speed manifold and 40s now, haven't you? Put you on a 400,000 cam. It'll be no good below 4,000 RPM, but it'll make you smile afterwards.
But I drive it every day.
Yeah, no, I think you'll drive around it, no problem. But with a modern cam.
Well, I can only try.
Well, what I was going to say is, right, because, like, you know, trying to get torque out of them and all that, it's like, the best way I can describe it, it's like getting a thoroughbred racehorse, and I've thought about this, yeah, and then making it do dressage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want it to rev, don't we? So, what I was going to say to you was, if you let me take over, I'll just build it all for you, dyno it, give it to you, right? You see this wonderful car here?
No, not painting again.
What's happened to it is, it's original. I've got a pair of new wings for it.
The dreaded Audi wings.
It's just scruffy and hard-lived. Look at the roof on it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this car. My missus isn't too keen on it because we went on all day the other day, and she made a nice comment. She said, it's actually quite smooth, this. And I said, oh, really? Do you like it? And she said, yeah, it's a bit warm though. Can you put the aircon on? So I wound the window down.
Well,
Said, hasn't got aircon. It's like old, isn't it? Now, what I was going to say was, this would be the plan, right? Because what I love about you, Gary, is you don't mess. You get a job, you just get on with it.
Yeah.
I know I'm buttering you here, but you just get on with it and do it. It's like nothing hangs around.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say is, I drive it down on a Sunday night, whiz all the lights out of it, pull the bumpers back, whatever you want me to do. Just mask it up to death. It doesn't have to be mint, because I'm only ever going to use it and park it as the car park.
Yeah.
I just want something that shines like yours. Do you reckon there's a chance we can do anything? You can say no.
I don't know.
Have a think about it.
I'll have to have a big think. I don't even think it'll fit in there properly.
That's okay. Do half at a time.
Let me have a think.
Mate, have a think.
Let me have a think.
You don't like it, do you? Don't like the idea. I understand.
To be honest, most of it doesn't need doing, does it? Because that just wants buffing.
Well, whatever you think.
Roof, your wings.
Roof, wings, bonnet, boot. I just thought, and what I'm saying is, all this comes out in 5 minutes. It all just unbolts.
Metallics are a pain.
Oh, are they?
They're a pain. If it's straight colour, it's a lot easier. But with it being metallic, if you don't have, you get stripes in it, and you just got to be really careful to get the right. And that's the problem with metallic. Doing the wings, not so bad, or a bumper, but trying to do a roof, I've got a very few stripes in the roof and me.
What it is, mate, I'll be honest with you, I just love the car. I'm never going to sell it. I just want it to be it needs to be a bit tidier than it is.
You know what I'd do?
I've got it mechanically right now.
Put a wrap on roof.
A wrap? No.
Black roof.
We're not getting involved with stickers, mate.
Put a black roof on it.
No, God, no. Yeah. Couldn't do that to it, mate. It's got to be standard. I love it. Right, no worries.
Have a think about it.
Have a think. Thanks for
I'm
talking.
not saying no.
Thanks for letting
I'm
us.
not saying yes.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, we may be able to tweak the thing to 1040cc if it makes a difference.
No.
Brill.
I'll give it 998.
Thanks, Gary.
All right, mate.
It's Monday morning. Just been greeted by Eric at the gate. Eric had the 930 off me. This is that lovely little Husky he's bought. Smart, real smart. We've just been for a drive in it. It arrived with a few problems. Long story short, it had got issues with the carburation. And we had one wet spark plug, didn't we?
We did.
Too much messing about, letting it idle in the garage, that, my mate.
Yeah, that's probably what it was, yeah.
And then, so we've done a plug, haven't we? We've cleaned the slow running jet out, and we've had a fiddle with the slow running screw, and it does appear to be functional now. So we've been for a drive in it, and it's got this strange thing where if you go wide open throttle and really floor it, drive it hard, it runs out of puff, doesn't it? And it goes lean, it just runs out of fuel completely. And then you slow down to about 15 mile an hour and it comes back. Now, I have had this issue before where, because the fuel tank's at the front and you've got a big long pipe all the way to here, where they're fastened to the bodywork along the tunnel in the middle near the gear lever setup, they go rusty and they pinhole and it draws air in. And obviously when you demand a lot of fuel, it starts to miss, it runs out of fuel, basically. It draws a lot of air in. So I've just took the carb apart to make sure there was nothing in the top. The carb was a bit mucky inside the float, wasn't it? But the actual needle valve area was all clean and that. So you might want to do that first. It was quite tight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
what did I do?
What's that?
Put the filter on the wrong way around.
I wasn't going to mention that.
Go on then, you might as well.
Oh, yeah, we had a slight issue with the fuel filter on the wrong way around. Let's get the fuel filter out so we can see it. Sorry. So you see these fuel filters? The way they work is the fuel goes this way so that you can see the cack that's collected. But it collects it, yeah. You often see it all floating at the bottom, but Eric had it the other way around, so the muck goes inside there. You can't see how much is in there. But to be fair, we didn't get anything really out of it. We gave it a bang on a bit of clean cardboard. And you said it was a new filter, did you?
It was it was a new one, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see bits of black inside it, but it's... What I've done is, I've given him another fuel pump to try, because this was a fuel pump that was new that Eric had supplied. But what I have to keep going back to, Eric, is we rev this wide open throttle on the dyno with its own fuel pump working, its own carb, and it held the power perfectly. Yeah. So that's why I keep going back to the thought that there's a car issue. It's something to do with that pipe, that fuel pipe. I know it looks great there, but honestly, I think when you get underneath it, you'll find if it is the original one, which it does look like, because normally the copper when they've been replaced, where it's fastened to the bodywork, you might see like all the under seal is wet, and that's where the petrol will be dripping out.
Coming out, yeah.
And that'll be you fixed. But yeah, go for a little drive up and down anyway, and I'll video you. You've got to love the sound of a standing in. Absolutely ace. Let's hope it doesn't break down. Lovely little thing that, isn't it? Hope he enjoys it. He seems like a classic car type of guy. Where's he going here? His door's not shut. Oh, it's so cool. I love it. Good morning, YouTubers. It's Monday morning. I've just sorted Ed out. Eric, sorry, not Ed. Eric's on his way now. He's got a plan to fix his fuel line. We've achieved, because we picked up the bumper Sunday night from Gary, so that's great. That's in the car outside, but I don't think we'll get near that car this week or until next month, really. Now, the 19th was, on Saturday, was the last day of my working in theory, and we're going to start moving units, but we've got a few jobs that we've got to be finished, so we're going to have to postpone it a little bit longer. This being one of them, and I just wanted to point to showing you this engine. This is a 998. I bought a 70mm 930 block to 998, and it's going to run in the original casting liners. This is, the arms are the wrong way around. This is the crankshaft that we balanced at Bob's, and a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about setting it up with the gap 90 degrees before top dead center for the crank trigger, a couple of viewers very kindly put in the comments section that I'd got it completely wrong, and I had got it completely wrong. I've got it 180 degrees out, so we moved it round from here to here, and it's now in the correct place, so rest easy. So I'm going to strip this down, give it all a clean. I think we polished the crank already, but we might polish out these marks where it's run the rollers on the balancer. Give it all a good brake cleaner in. We've got a full kit of bearings and pistons all ready to go in it, so we'll get it assembled. That's going to be today's achievement, and we've got some work on the head to do as well. If anything exciting happens, I'll report back to you straight away. Right, I thought I'd do an update. It's Monday afternoon. Nothing particularly exciting to report about this. Just went together. It's a 998 in a dry liner block, as we discussed before. The only thing I was going to say was I have now put the crank trigger in the correct position, because if you go backwards 90 degrees now, if he's got his trigger here at 90 degrees before top dead center, that's where the gap would be. So before I had it here, dipstick. So as you'd have gone 90 degrees after top dead center, it would have seen the gap, not before, which is where we want it. So back 90, that's where it's going to see it. Another weird little thing, I wasn't sure, you know, we're balancing these crankshafts, and they have a washer on the front, and it's got a giant flat on it. For originally, before we started Loctiting them, used to have like a tab washer that had a peg that went into the top of the woodruff keyhole there. Now, what I've been doing is I've just been balancing them with the washer in a set position. So I put it in the center of the gap for the woodruff key. So that's what I've done. I've copied it there now, Loctited it in, tightened it all up. So hopefully the crankshaft is as in balance as when we balanced it last week on the balancing machine. So that's the bottom end done. I've got to do the head. It's 2 o'clock now. I'm going to have a go at doing the head between now and finishing time, because I'm trying to finish at 4 today so that we can get on with the Rover V8 engine, maybe get a head on and get CC in it. Okay, chaps, the best part of the day is come. It's 4 o'clock, just gone, and I'm going to do a cheeky hour and a half on this. So this is the V8, and I'm going to get the head on tonight so I can CC it and see what the compression ratio is. Now, there's a bit of pitting at the front here where water's sat, basically. It's eroded the block, you can see it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it in with grey glue and then scrape the excess off with a blade. Not that I expect it to seal it or anything, I just don't want the moisture going there again and it getting any worse. Now, something I should have mentioned the other day is just how ahead of its time this block was. If you look at it, you'll be thinking, where's the waterways? It's like it's got a dry deck. And the way it works is,
That's a bleed, that one there. That's not a major flow. All the major flow for the water is there. So the water comes into the block here from the water pump, and it travels the full length of the liner section, we'll call it, before it gets to the back here and does a U-turn. And then it comes along the head and comes out of the front of the head via a little oval port here. I'll show you in a minute. So it's a full, you know, the design of it's a full cross-flow cooling system, whereas, like, you know, we've got to think about what was available at the time. You know, looking at like an A series or a B series, they put the water in there and they took the water out here, so quite often the back end of the engine ran very hot compared to the front, whereas this, really good coolant transfer. It's getting better and better, this engine. Anyway, I'll stop getting excited, put the head gasket on and clamp the head down and we'll see it. Okay, chaps, that was a little bit on the disappointing side. I've bolted the head on. I've CC'd the first cylinder here, so it's at top dead centre and it's got 47.5 cc's in it. So you can see the plug hole there. What I've done is I've just rocked it around and moved it off top dead centre to get all the air bubbles out towards the hole there. And I filled the chamber full of paraffin using this burette. I measured it, and yeah, it's got basically 47.5 cc's. Now, that sounded quite big to me, that, and I thought, what's going on here? Where are we going to be? So I've just done a little calculation on my whiteboard that's not white. So it's 3.5 litre, 3,500 cc divided by 8 gives you 437.5 cc's per cylinder, because we just want to know one cylinder, of course. So it's 437.5 plus what we've got in the chamber, which is 47.5, equals a dead 485. Divide that by the 47.5 to find 1, and then that gives us 10.21 to 1. Now that's quite a friendly compression ratio for the cam we're going to run and the stroke this engine's got. So it's probably going to be, I bet the gearbox is smiling over there thinking I might be able to cope with that, because they don't get snappy till they get into the 11Cs. It's going to be a bit, the best way of describing it, it will be ignition numb. It won't be sensitive. It'll be numb to what we do with it. So yeah, we'll carry on with the build. At least it's not 14 to 1 and we've got to start messing about opening chambers up and whatnot. So it is what it is. It's not a race car. It's just a bit of handy fun. YouTubers, I was minding my own business and this reprobate's come wandering in. He's not very well today. Did you have a bad day yesterday, Bergerac?
It was a long night on Saturday. You should have stayed out. We were out until 5 o'clock in the morning.
Mate,
so yesterday was a write-off.
I wouldn't.
Today is almost a write-off.
Yeah.
I had to go to Anglesey today.
Really? That's a big day's graft for you, that. Were you out of bed before dinner time? 11.
Oh, I was up early, mate. I was in here at 8:30.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, I did see this morning. Didn't know when I was dealing with Eric. Yeah. So tell me, Bergerac, you were just explaining to me, you're getting your excuses out about the go-karting. How did you get on? You seem to be getting lapped in.
You know that I did really well in the first session. Third, just behind the two professionals, you know.
Right.
So I thought that was all right. You know, I was, you know,
yeah,
200
thereabouts, yeah.
And then the second one was terrible. It was 10th. But it's obviously the car.
Obviously.
I don't know if you've seen the leaderboard. All of my times were consistent to within 2-3 tenths of a second every lap.
Have you been studying it on the email?
Yeah, I needed to know where I was going wrong, you know.
Well, listen, mate, just to make you feel better, mate, I did notice when I lapped you that your cart was only running on one cylinder. So that could have been the issue.
I told you it was the magneto.
Oh, yeah, you probably knew that. You've upset it, haven't you? So you had a good time. It was nice to meet your friends. I enjoyed meeting your friends.
Good, yeah. I'm glad they didn't spill too much gossip about me.
No, I thought they were all quite complimentary about you, really. Yeah. Which I was hoping one of them was going to get, like, you know, drunk and just let it all out.
If he'd stayed out a bit longer, I think the truth might have out.
Right. Brilliant. Well, I hope you have a good productive week and your recovery's over now. You're only young though, aren't you? How old are you?
33.
Oh, mate, you should be able to drink the next day straight away, no problem.
Not these days.
Oh, mate.
Not these days.
And I was 33, mate. Oh, my God. I need about 2 hours kip. Amazing. You wait till you get to flipping my age. Jesus. Right. Yeah. Right, I'm going to get on with my disappointing engine. It's only got 10.2 to 1 compression, so it's going to be a bit flat, but I think it might make the gearbox last longer. Right, slow progress, chaps. We've got the heads on, put the cam in, put the followers in. Now what I've done is, you can't actually see, I'm just set this to on overlap for number 1 inlet. I'm going to put the inlet slightly ahead, a bit more. But we're not going to measure the cam timing at the follower. We're going to measure it at the valve. So get all the valve gear on, set all the clearances. But thought what I'll do is I'll put the timing gear on. So this is the adjustable vernier. It's on a duplex chain. This is like an aftermarket one. I've just noticed a critical error which I never noticed the first time I built. I've run all this before, you see. But I was just looking at that. Can you see? The radius on the crankshaft is bigger than the radius on there. It actually goes the other way around, it goes that way on. But it's all mottled and damaged. But I've just got an original standard one. Look at the size of the radius on that. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put this in the lathe and relieve it on this side so that it butts right up. Sounds right, but it can't be hitting it. Anyway, there's just not enough relief on it. Right, we'll sort that out next and then we'll get on with putting the cam gear. Right, okay, I've just relieved that with the big chamfer. I put some grey slip on just so I could get a witness. And I can see now that the faces are hitting. You can't really see behind there. Anyway, that's good. So that's all the correct offset now. What I'll do next is get the cam on and we'll get some push rods in and set some clearances. I'm back again. Just one thing I wanted to point out, which I quite often see overlooked, is this piece here, this spacer. There's a big hole on the top side of the woodruff key there. And if you follow this all the way back to the front of the camshaft, in fact, we've got another camshaft here, you should see a hole. See that hole there? Now that hole goes straight through to the journal, to the high pressure oil feed. And what happens is the oil comes along this channel all the way to the front of here. And this groove is the oil release. So you can't actually just about make it out, but this interface here is about 20 thou higher than this. So the oil flies out when it's the correct way around, that way around. And what it does is it lands on the skew gear, because we've got two. We've got the dizzy coming in here, and then we've got the oil pump coming in here. But on our engine, we've got the oil pump on the nose, because it's a later pump. But on the earlier engines, the oil pump was driven off. The oil pump was driven off the bottom of the dizzy. That was it. There's one skew gear for dizzy, and then the drive went in the end of for the oil pump went in the end of the distributor. So yeah, really important that you get it the right way around, because you put it on that way around, it blocks the oil feed off, and then this just runs dry. What used to happen was, they start the season with them, and they start retarding themselves, and you're like, where's it losing its advance? And you'd go inside here, and the gears used to wear like mad. They also wear when people try and run high pressure pumps on them. You know, if you try and run like 60, 70 psi, it's just too much load for the gear. Anyway, right, we'll get on with building it now. Good morning, it's Tuesday, early on. Finished doing the heads yesterday afternoon, although I didn't video any of it. I just got on with it because just needed it done. But anyway, thought I'd go through it a bit this morning. So this is a sport spec head, and the biggest valve you can go to on a standard sport seat is 1.3 and 1.125. So it's quite a decent size increase without getting majorly involved. So as you can see, if you just zoom in a little bit, you can see all I've done is I've cut the seats. And now what I'm doing is, although they do sound all right, put new guides in it, obviously on new bronze guides. They do sound okay. They still need a little bit of a lapping in. So I've lapped these two in. If you zoom in again, you might be able to see there's like a grey ring around the outside. That's where the lapping paste and the valve contact the seat. And it just fettles off any high spots, you know. I mean, the seat cutting machine isn't bad, but you do need to lap them as well.
should lap them regardless, you know, every time. So done that, or I'm in the process of doing that. So that'll be this head finished. And then we're going to get on with the 1200 engine for America, because that wonderful engineer called Stuart Brownsley down in was it Weymouth? He is miles away anyway. But I posted some rods to him last week and said, Stuart, I'm really busy. Please can you rebush these rods for me? He said, I'm really busy as well, but I'll see what I can do. Anyway, he messaged me about 9:30 last night and said, your rods are in the post, Andy, on the way back to you. So massive thank you, Stuart, for turning them around so quickly. That's brilliant. It means I want to get this 1200, the American one, I want to get it out of the workshop before National Weekend if possible, because they're racing September, so it gives them plenty of time to test and get it all tuned in, you know. Brilliant. Right, we'll over and out for now. I'll get these laps in, and then we'll get the 1200 on the go, and we'll see if we can work out which head we're going to fit on it.
Excuse me, mate, I'm trying to run a business here.
Go away, will you?
What's up? You got a misfire?
Well, no, it's just obviously because I'm a cheapskate, it's on LPG. So it runs beautifully for that. Beautiful, isn't it?
Sounds good, doesn't it?
Sounds good.
Gives a blip.
A bit too naughty though, isn't it, as an everyday car? As in, everyone turns around and looks at you like you're, well...
But you're going to use, you'll use about 2.5% throttle, won't you, cruising around? Being airtight, you know.
It's easy to drive sensibly. But yeah, it's just, it's not run on LPG for a couple of years. So it's got, when it swaps over, bit of a pulsey miss there.
Pulsey miss?
A pulsey miss. That is.
How's the rock situation? I believe you've been had off again.
Oh, let's not go there. We'll talk about that another day. I'm trying to stay positive today. Okay?
Right, okay, I'll leave you alone. nice car though, Burge.
Yeah, it is, thanks. Yeah.
Go on, send to the Beamer, is it for sale?
It is for sale, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic car and it does everything perfectly, but
I know.
it's just too boring.
Were you sick of people?
It works too well.
Were you sick of people asking you if you've got any drugs for sale?
Now I've just got stolen artwork for sale.
Mate, stolen artwork, mate. You look sleek in that bad boy.
Yeah,
Got
it
some
suits
love
me a
in
bit bad, doesn't it? I've had 2 or 3 of these in the past, and they are just nice cars.
It's like a smoothed off XJ40, isn't it? See you then. Morning, it's Wednesday morning. Thought I'd better do an update on where we're up to, because yesterday was a bit hectic. I finished those heads in the morning and then got on with the 1200 for America. So I've finished cleaning the block now. I've had the crank in. Everything looks good. I think I found a cylinder head that I'm happy to use on this bottom end. Everything lined up really well. But I can't confirm until the rods land, because when the rods land today, back from having the new little end bushers in, I'll be able to do a dry build, get a piston height, work out my valve cutouts, make sure everything works correctly. If all that ticks off, then we can hopefully get a build on this week. I did go and skive a bit and do a bit on my Rover V8 engine, which I will go and talk to you next about. All right, so we had a little look at the V8 yesterday afternoon. Got a bit closer to where I wanted to be with it. I've been doing some cam timing. So the heads are on and torqued. I'd CC'd it, done the compression ratio. It was a rather disappointing 10.2 to 1. I put these are in the called push rods. So it has the camshaft in the middle, unlike a Hillman, and then the lobes go around and push the followers up and down, and that translates into this mechanism at the top. Obviously opens the valve. So it has a clearance. So we set the clearance here, we measure it at the top of the valve, and I've just set them all to 18th thou. That's a bit big, but what will happen is as soon as the engine runs, it'll all make friends and settle down. What we'll do is we'll run it, we'll retorque the heads down, because when you retorque the head, it brings it closer, so it closes the gap anyway. So as soon as I've retorqued the head, I'll then recheck all the clearances, but we're not going to worry about that for the time being. I've just set these two correctly, because this is where I'm measuring the valve lift from at top dead centre. So that's called a vernier timing gear. It has 4 elongated slots, so I can move that relative to the position of the camshaft, which means I can set the timing exactly how I want it. Now, I have tried in the past to measure this bit here so I could get the bottom end together before putting the heads on, but it doesn't really work, I'll be honest with you. You need the stress of it going round. See how tight the tight side of the chain is there? That's the sloppy side. So I've moved it round in a clockwise rotational movement so that
I can see exactly where we're going to be. So at the moment, I brought it round to top dead centre. So number 1 cylinder is at top dead. Now I have already measured this. It's not got a lot of lift at top dead. It's 97 thou on the inlet and 75 on the exhaust. So that means the inlet valve is open ever so slightly more than the exhaust valve. The first valve on this head is an exhaust, and the second valve is an inlet. So therefore, we put this on the inlet, set it to 0, and you can see, if you look down here, the lobe is just coming on lift. So it's just about to start the inlet valve opening, the piston's going to come down, and the cold air and fuel is going to go into the cylinder. Now, obviously you might think, them figures a bit small, and what it is a Rover V8, although we've revved them in the past, they don't tend to rev like an imp. So the amount of lift, the amount of overlap you run at top dead centre sort of dictates where the power band is going to be in the RPM range. So I think this cam's meant to work from like 3,500 RPM. So there's sort of similar lift figures to an R17 cam, you know, that sort of thing. For example, an R23 cam or one of my full race cams runs 175 on the inlet and say 160, 158 on the exhaust. Whereas an Imp Sport cam, which has got its peak torque right down in the RPM range, that might only have like 40 thou on the inlet and 20 thou on the exhaust. So this is a halfway house, it's somewhere in between. Obviously it's a bigger engine, but that doesn't really matter, it doesn't work like that. The way it works is this camshaft will be designed to work from 3,500 RPM. So the scavenge and the exhaust and all the rest of it will all come in tune and work. It'll be at its peak efficiency, I reckon, about 4,000 RPM on this. So not massive lift at top dead, but that's fine. I've run this cam before. Would have liked it to have been wilder, but that's just how it is. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go backwards now and measure the lift together. So I'm going to bring the cam off lift. So that lobe that's now approaching, we're going to bring it off so we know what it had at top dead. And hopefully it'll have 97 thou like it had last time, but no, my luck, it'll have nothing like that. So I'm just backing off on this, anti-clockwise. Oh, not too bad, 95. So it's got 95 at top dead centre on number 1 inlet valve. So let's wind it back round again. Put the lever on this side. The spanner, should I call it. I need to just push that down and watch this. So I'm going to bring it back round to 0. Then we're going to measure it on the exhaust side. Brill. So that's on 0. So dead simply now, we just move this across because we're back at our top dead centre position now. So just let it settle a little bit. Now when we measure the exhaust lift, we carry on going round in a clockwise rotation because if you look, you can see it's got a little bit of lift and we want to remove that lift back down to the base circle. So we're going to go, the exhaust valve is now shutting as we go in the clockwise rotation because the inlet valve was opening. So if I push down this and go clockwise, we should get 75. Nearly, what did I write down? 75. Yeah, 78. So we're within a couple of 3 thou. It's just to do with the TDC point at the start. So that's basically where we're at. So I'm happy with that now. Now, a little tip that I thought I'd mention. When you're messing about with cam timing, it's dead easy to go, right, let's try that. And you just pinch 1 bolt up and leave the other 3 loose. But in the past, I had a bit of a nightmare where I couldn't remember, this is after I built the engine, it was on the dyno, whether I tightened the other 3 up. And I hadn't filled my check sheet in because I was being cocky. So I was like, so I spent all night worrying about it and then came in the next day, dropped the sump down, took the front cover off, and I had tightened them all up. But now, as a matter of course, whenever I come to undo any, and this is, I mean, if you're more intelligent than me, you probably remember to do it, but I tighten all 4 because it takes another 30 seconds to make sure all 4 are tight. And then I know in my head now, that any engine I build, everything is always tight. If it's on, it's tight. It's like this may have had to come off again to move, but the first time I put it on, I torqued it and paint marked it and Loctited it, because that way I know it's done, if that makes sense. I don't want to be thinking to myself afterwards, did I, didn't I? So I know anything that's on this engine, as soon as it's on the engine, it's torqued and Loctited. So there's no question in my head. It just works better for me. It may not work better for you, but that's how I like to do it anyway. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sump on, because we've got Sir Adrian Oliver on his way down with a mysterious water leak on his engine. So we're going to have a look at that for him. Doing a bit of dry build with the front cover. So this is the front cover that's got the oil pump in the nose rather than down here. So this is what they call a serpentine front cover. This was off a Discovery, where it's hard to explain this, but early 3.5s and 3.9s, they all had the pump down here, and then it did like a 3.9 and a 4.2 on the small main in the old style block with a distributor, so it had a dizzy drive on it, and the water pump on the front. And the water pump used to run backwards. It used to run off the back side of the belt rather than the front side of the belt. So it had a big Poly V flat belt on the front here, and it used to drive off the back of it. Anyway, that's all another story. Don't be confused with thinking this front cover is the same as a P38 front cover, because the P38 was fully electronic ignition with a spark box, so it didn't run a dizzy. So it doesn't. The P38 one is shallower again and doesn't have the although it has the oil pump on the end, it doesn't have the dizzy drive. So this front cover is quite rare. It was only made for a couple of years on them sort of interim Discoveries where they had the 3.9, or I think they did something called the Range Rover LSE, which was a 4.2, which was a strokes version of the 3.9. They were quite a good engine them. Anyway, excuse me, what I was going to say was I've just put this on with no gasket, and what I've done, I just wanted to double check. All this kit's just been in the box for like 10 years, but I used to run all this. And what we should have is I put some goo on the end of the, that you can see on the end of the shaft there. So this should have touched my button. Yes, it has. Because that's the button that stops the camshaft from moving forward. And obviously when I put the gasket on, which is about 25 thou thick, that's our clearance then. So that's great that all works. I found my cap head bolts. This is the drive off the front of the crankshaft that drives the pump gear on the end of the in the end of the oil pump there. Now these two water pipes here, I chopped the mechanical water pump off on my my engine, because what I did was I ran like a two silicon pipes, which I have got somewhere, I just haven't got a clue where they are. They'll be in the V8 box somewhere. And they ran to an electric water pump, because I love constant speed pumps when it comes to cooling engines. I think it's great, because if you're in a race and you want to remove residual heat, rather than leaving the engine running, you can put the fans on the rad and the electric water pump on, and the engine turned off, and it will pull the heat out of the engine. So when the race restarts, you've got a nice cool as a cucumber engine. So that was the theory of that. I'll try and find the rest of it soon, and then we can have a look at it all together. But yeah, for the time being, we're going to get the front cover on. It'd be nice to get the sump on, because it's still only 750 or something. So Adrian's not due here till 9 o'clock. If we could get the sump on this before Adrian arrives, then when we've dealt with Adrian later on tonight, I'll be able to put some oil in it and get some oil pressure on it. Okay, one last thing on the front cover before it goes on is obviously that's the oil pump, and because the oil pump is driven off the end of the crankshaft, obviously it has to operate within a range of like 750 RPM all the way through to say 6,500 RPM. So it has the ability to pump a massive amount of oil. So what all oil pumps have at some point along the line, sometimes it's remote, is something called a pressure relief valve. So what happens is the oil pressure is the other side of this plunger here, and then what happens is when the pressure, say after 2,000 RPM, the engine has reached 50 psi, we don't want any more pressure than 50 psi. It's just a waste of energy. So what they do is this plunger is pushing on the spring, and it sets back, and then them holes there, them holes in the piston, they open up ports, and basically on this particular setup, it bypasses the oil back into the system again. Yeah, so the pump will only ever, no matter how fast it goes, it will only ever produce 50 psi of oil pressure. Now on the Rovers, they have this little piston, much like a Vauxhall and other engines of a similar period. Now, what we used to do was used to fit these. This is the what we call a tadpole, and that goes in place of the original pressure plunger. Because that running a close diameter in the aluminium, because of the nature of what we ran these engines in with a load of shale around them, they used to get stuck. So the relief valve would open, the muck would get round it, and it'd jam in the body. So of course, when the engine slowed right down again, the oil would just rush through the holes, and you'd have no pressure at idle, only when you revved it. So we fit the tadpole, because the tadpole, it couldn't get stuck. That big ball there would just sit. There's like a seat at the bottom of there, you can see it. It would sit on that seat, and obviously as soon as the pressure got up, it would blow off, and as soon as the pressure dropped down again, it would always be able to return. Now, I was going to run this tadpole with the longer spring, but I remember it was quite high pressure, and I only want standard oil pressure on this engine. I don't want crazy amounts of oil pressure. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it back together with the standard setup in. We'll keep all this to one side. We're not going to be going near any shale, so there's no muck going to get in the engine that's going to potentially cause it to stick. And we'll have a look at what the pressure is. If it cranks over and does like 50 psi, that's ample. I'd be more than happy with that. So I think we'll probably end up leaving it, to be honest. But that is ideal if you're messing with mucky circumstances, because it cannot jam, unlike this one, which frequently jam when they get muck in them. Brill. Right, I'll get this together and get it on the front of the engine. We're about to put the sump on. It's Wednesday morning. Lockhugh's in the workshop. It's a historic racing driver. Not you, the car. No. Although you have been doing it a long time. How you doing, Adrian?
Yeah.
Thanks for being so kind. I said to Adrian, just bear with me 2 minutes, because if we get the sump on this before we start his engine, then that means that when he's finished tonight and I work late, I'll be able to put some oil in it and get some oil pressure up, hopefully. Anyway, all I've done is check the torques on the big ends and the mains. That's all good. I've torqued the front pulley on. The engine seems to have grown another 2 inches, which is concerning me, because it definitely looks longer than an imp engine now. So I'm not sure how it's going to fit under the back yet, but we'll work that out when we come to it. Put my new pickup pipe on that I made, and that I've had to grey glue that bit there, because that's where one of the welds burnt a hole in the spot weld. So I put a bit of steel over it and grey glue it. That'll stay there forever now. So right, we're going to get the sump on, and then we'll get stuck into Adrian's engine. Okay, YouTubers, we've got Mr. Oliver in the workshop here. We've got his engine on the bench. Now, we had concerns about losing coolant, didn't we?
Yes.
And these coolers that we've always used, they're great at doing what they do, but I'll be honest, you need to P-clip the pipes right next to the engine, because with the engine moving around, it pushes and pulls, and yeah, this one has cracked. Now, it's been repaired with, is that JB weld, you say?
Yes, yeah.
But JB weld, it's very, very rigid when it goes on. Can you shine the torch, please, Adrian? If you shine the torch there, we've come to it, and straight away, I can see when I just lever it backwards and forwards. Can you see the little bubble in the bottom there?
Yeah.
The crack is underneath there. And obviously when you are running a pressurized cooling system, so when you're racing, it'll just ooze out. Now, anyway, what the plan is, let me just take over completely here. You came here for a water leak, but I've got to be honest with you, Adrian. As you've done very well this year, and I did want to congratulate you on your victory at Brands Hatch in the 4th race, was it, on the Sunday?
Yes, yeah. Got there in the end.
Got there in the end. After, unfortunately, the carnage of the little accident that happened at the beginning. You did. Oh, I loved your in-car, by the way. In fact, I'm going to pause now and insert that, if that's okay with you, because that was a cracking bit of driving. Right, we're back. I'll pause it. We're back again now. That video there of you dodging everyone, Adrian, and I've never seen an IMSA sideways and not go around in a full circle, so well done for that. But you've spent plenty of time sideways. Is that my doorbell?
I'm not sure.
Sorry about that. It was the doorbell. It was our bearings. I ordered some bearings, Adrian, because the next thing I wanted to come to was we've had low coolant a few times, haven't we?
Yes.
And the temperature, I think it was at Pembrey, you said to me the temperature was quite hot on the engine.
Yeah, it was jumping about. It was up, it was down, it was up, and I wasn't happy with it.
No, that's just as I think that, you know, the pumps, the constant speed electric pumps had coolant and not had coolant. So that coupled with going back to Donington, do you remember when I asked you how practice had gone?
Yes. Dropping oil pressure in certain corners. It would drop and the light would come on, so I had to wait, and then it'd come back up, and then off we go again. And
have you any idea how many grey hairs I developed after that comment?
yes, you weren't amused, I remember.
But it seems to have been all right. Anyway, I think what we'll do is, half the reason for inviting you up here to look for the water issue, which I already had in my mind decided it was that, because if it had a wheel string issue, you wouldn't have done well at Brands.
No.
So if you don't mind, we'll just whiz the sump off. I don't suspect we're going to find anything, but let's just have a look. If we have got a problem, we've got some in stock to replace them. Just if they look like they've polished a little bit, it's just better to do preventative maintenance. We'll get it done. You put it back in the car, prime the oil, just fire it up, just let him idle for an hour or something, let him all make friends before you go for a drive, you know? You use the car at work, don't you? You've got some land at work.
Yeah, well, now we've got to run number plates and that, I can just toodle around the road.
Oh, just give it a run round, even better. Don't let it warm up. Right, brilliant. So I'm happy for all that to happen. I'm not stressed about the setup of the engine. It seems to be going okay. So that's great that we've found that little issue. What we'll do is we'll do the sump first. We can buy these new, but I think what we'll do is we'll probably clean all this off, braze it up, and see if we can get some strength into it, and then we'll plaster it in grey glue, and that should be the end of it. The issue is, honestly, it's just purely that it's pulling the weight of the water in them.
Oh, right.
You know, as you look at the car.
I guessed that. I thought it's just, it's hanging on. I've got like a rubber clip there that holds it, but it does allow movement.
If you can make it rigid to there, so that when the engine moves, all the flex is on this side. It just doesn't means there's no stress transmitted. If you remember when I went to Brands and I had mine leaking, well, I was the dipstick that P-clipped this to the back panel. So every time the engine moved, it pulled on it, and that's why it fractured so badly, and I lost all my coolant after my little off as well. It all went wrong after my jumping across the gravel pit at Paddock Hill Bend. But yeah, that's
right.
We can. Good. Certain people don't have any problems with them, and mainly I think it's to do with the fact that they've got them P-clipped to the engine, so there's no stress transmitted. Because this, if you can imagine, is off a modern car, and it would have had like a short pipe that would have been attached for vibration reasons really close to it. So yeah. We'll do that, and then eventually we're going to move to a new type of cooler. So that's why I'm not stressed about buying a new one, because the next year when I return, if I can get the water temperature understood correctly and we can get the cooling right down, then we'll be ditching the oil coolers, and we'll run hot oil and cold blocks. That's the plan. Anyway, that's next year. I've got to prove it on my own car first, and then you can have the win. Okay, right. Let's get the sump off and see what we see. Right, Adrian. Well, I've been really concerned about this engine of yours since the oil sloshing around issue, and with the lack of it, and the overheating at Pembrey. But I've got to say, what oil are you using, mate? It's really good.
It's the Joe Gibbs XP6. I think it's 6.
Wow. Well, they're not. They've got a tiny bit of polishing on them, but basically it looks pretty mint. So I think what we'll do is we'll do a fresh set of big ends for it, pop them in, and I think we're all right basically. My concern was that we'd be through to copper and all the rest of it, but no, it's absolutely fine. It was an Andy panic that Andy didn't need to have.
Well, that's to be safe, isn't
so
it?
Well done. Keep changing up at 8.5 and keep an eye on that temperature gauge like you do, and hopefully we'll just see you at the end of season or whenever you decide you want to refresh the engine. But yeah, we'll put a set of big ends in it, get it back together, and then would you like to go for some dinner somewhere?
Oh yeah, there's this place I'd like to try called Chapati Corner, I think.
Oh wow, okay, well we'll see what we can sort out. Now we know we've not got like a crank swap on our hands. But you didn't actually report to me that there was any oil pressure issues, so
no, it's happy.
Right, cool. Okay, we'll get a set of big ends turned now. We'll have to machine them down in a lathe, and then that'll be that. Perfect.
Sent Adrian to the shop to get some milk because he's quite alarmed at the fact that I'm on a water diet, should we say, at work. I don't drink tea and coffee anymore, which I have to say I do feel a million times better for, and I sleep like a baby, not having 9 cups of tea a day or coffee. So what I'll say is this is the big ends. Now these are 4B2201 standard ACL bearings, cheap as chips, Mini Cooper S, great bearings these, I love them. Because of early mini bearings, there's loads of them made, so they're the right price. Now what this is an imp rod, because we need to make these bearings fit in an imp, but they're too wide. So I just got an imp rod and ground an extra tab into it, just really so I could do 2 shells at once. So what I do is I bolt this together now, put it in a lathe and face it down, and then that's us then. Put a bit of masking tape on the bearing face so that the swarf doesn't land on it, and then deburr it, and they're ready to go in. Right, okay chaps, so you can see it doesn't actually run true. It shimmies around because I'm just gripping on the casting on the outside, or the forging, should I say, of the old rod. But it doesn't matter as long as the back is hard against the face of the chuck, so we know that we're machining correct that way, so they all end up the same width. So I've just tickled across there. You don't want to put any heat into the bearing, just very, very light cuts. So I'll take that out now and deburr it. Gone to 0, set to 0. That should measure up perfect now. And yeah, just got to repeat it 3 more times. Mid-afternoon Wednesday, Mr. Adrian's loaded his engine up in the back of the van. Adrian, I'm sorry for the little bit of an over panic, perhaps we might call it, you know, but I do appreciate you bringing it up here and just at least you fix the water leak anyway.
Yeah, that's good. That's really pleasing. That water leak, and then play it safe with the bearings, which is always a good thing.
So will I see you at National Weekend?
Oh yes, yeah.
Excellent. We'll have a catch up and a beer there. And I don't know if I'll be coming to Snetterton. I would like to, but I think it's a bit busy that time of. What date is it? Do you know?
It's only a couple of weeks, I think.
Is
it's
it
not long.
Yeah, I'm like. I think we're on holiday. Well, we're doing something. But I'm out myself on the 19th of August at Alton Park testing, so I'll keep you posted how I get on. Yeah, I can't wait. I'll have a rattle around in the imp, assuming I've got some work out the door. But as the doorbell just rang before, and Adrian took delivery of my con rods back from Rodwell, so I've got them now. So we'll get a dry build on with the American engine, which will be good. Give us a good start. So brilliant. If you can just put that in and then fire him up, just let him idle for ages, before you do anything with it. Okay, let it all make friends, as we say, and then go out and do some test runs and stuff. And
that'd be good.
Yeah, excellent.
My gearbox doesn't leak.
No, well, you think you found the problem now, don't you?
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, you've got your new seal, haven't you?
Yeah, I've modified the breather on it and got the new seal. So
excellent. You'll lose the nickname of Dick Dastardly then.
Yeah.
Right, safe journey. Cheers,
Right,
Adrian. Heard the sound of thunder outside. It's my mate Wilkie. Wilkie, what is this? Adrian's sniffing it. He knows about bikes. He says it's rare. Tell me about it. It's an XR1000. You need to speak. Wilkie. You need to tell me. What is it?
Good day, everybody. Shrigleytube. It's a Harley Davidson XR1000, 83, 84. They made a couple of hundred of them, or a couple of thousand. They didn't sell very well in America.
Right.
They were twice the price of a normal Sportster.
They're twice the price?
They were twice the price. They couldn't sell them.
No way.
So it's they were a bit of a damp squid at the time.
Right.
Expensive.
And
they were the fastest Harley Davidson for quite the fastest production Harley Davidson for quite a few years.
Really, we'll have to get Bergerac to see this. He'd love it. Is it rev to 8,000 RPM with only 2 cylinders?
No, it will get there, yeah. But I wouldn't like to take it.
It'd be busy, wouldn't it?
This cam chest in here is like 4 or 5 cams in there, gear joint wheels in there. They're just not made for revving fast.
Right, I was just thinking of the imbalance.
There's a cam for each, for each valve.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. There's 4 valves, and then drives drives the generator as well. So
That's the generator
there's
there.
a lot of things going on in that timing case.
That looks like an imp starter, that. Off
It could possibly well
a
be
modified
a
Nissan
Denso-
Micro one.
a
Yeah,
Denso,
Denso
yeah.
one, yeah. So, where have you just been on it?
I've just been to a place called Dudersfeld in Germany
Wow.
for the pre-Evo party, which is because this is just about pre-evolution Harley Davidson.
Pre-evolution?
Yeah, that means like from 1902 to 1984.
Wow. It's got the Autos on it as well.
Yeah, they're a standard car.
Hey, does it go very far, that little fuel tank?
No, it does. It does 60 mile before it goes on reserve from if you brim it.
Right.
And then I've not had the courage to test how far it'll actually go on reserve,
yeah.
without carrying a gallon of fuel in it.
No, don't blame me, mate. Would you mind if we heard it? It did sound like a major rumble when you pulled up.
Actually, I think it was pretty, as Harley Davidsons go.
Get the right shake on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Go on, give it a blip then. You know what? It's not as mechanically harsh as the last one I heard. It's quite sweet, that one.
All right, and this is pretty noisy. This top end.
Is it?
When you're riding, you can hear it above the wind noise, which is amazing.
What is it? Just like hemispherical 2 valves?
Yeah, it's a hemispherical. It doesn't have tappets. It has eccentric rocker spindle shafts to set the.
To set the height for the
to set-
clearance. Mate, that's posh. That. And what year is this? 80?
80. They were all made in 83,
83.
so they're all 83, 84.
I was 5.
Uh-huh.
Mate, it's nice. It's nice. But I've got to be honest, I like my Honda 90.
Yeah.
I think I'll settle for that for the time being. But thank you very much for telling us about it, and I hope you come down with some of your other bikes in the future.
Yeah.
Adrian's just gone, so we put the sump on this morning. I've just poured some oil in it. Me and Mr. Wilkie. Wilkie's going to do the live wire just anywhere on there, mucker. We've got oil pressure. Quite therapeutic, that, isn't it? I could have that in my lounge, just going round.
Oh yeah.
It's just something to watch.
Oh, do a cutaway one.
It's got a good bit of lift, that. Quite impressed to a point. I should have measured it, actually. I didn't measure it when it was at the valve. This cam is meant to run with the Volvo P1800 rockers, which have got a better ratio than these. But I think it's 1.7, but I haven't got them on because we've run out of time. Anyway, I'm going to put the exhaust manifolds on, put the belly pan on, get a carb on it, put a dizzy in it, put some petrol in it. I'm going to make some noise. I reckon I can make some noise between now and home time, I reckon. Hey, for a bit of an update on the carburation for the Rover V8. The plan originally was to fit this converted SU manifold with this, which I could quite easily run a 45E DCOE Weber on it, or a DHLA Delauto. But I've just been thinking, looking how big the carb is and the space I've got, I don't think that's ideal. So if you remember last week, I went out in the Audi on Saturday morning and bought this monster, and I thought, I'll sit that on top, but it's considerably wider, so we have to do quite a lot of engineering to make that fit. Now, I did remember that in my hoard I had got this already converted, which was a 40mm D-gas carb off a Mark 1 Capri, and I took it to some of the shows to try and sell it and whatever. No one had showed much interest. Everyone wanted to buy the carb, no one wanted the manifold. So I reckon if I give that carb a clean up, that's going to be my lowest and most compact way of fueling the Husky V8. So I'll get the carb off now, I'll get it in the parts washer and see if we can clean it up a bit. And yeah, I'll bolt this on the engine because I'm desperate to get a tune out of this before we go home tonight. Incidentally, my rods have just arrived back, so we can get on with the American engine tomorrow. Back from Rodwell, superb job as usual. He's put new bushes in there for us, so that's great. We can get a dry build on and get a compression ratio worked out. Got the Weber apart, chaps. Oh dear, what a mess. I thought it was a bit stiff to operate. Look at the state of it.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to give it an acid bath first. I took the gasket off because stupidly I haven't got a kit to rebuild it, so we're just going to have to bodge it for the time being. Get it in the acid, get the muck off it, and then what we'll do is we'll put it in ultrasonic tank, hopefully get it a bit cleaner. Okay chaps, unfortunately it's a bit of a failure. I was hoping that Wednesday night we were going to get a tune out of the Rover engine, but the carburetor has been in the ultrasonic now for about an hour, a good hour, after I'd steamed it outside, and it's still looking pretty grubby. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to kibosh it, because realistically it's not important, it's only a bit of fun. So we'll come in tomorrow, we'll crack on with the 1200 and leave this tank running all morning, and then in the afternoon we'll have to look and see if it's looking any cleaner, but we'll turn it off for now and just let it soak overnight, because there's no point trying to build it, it just won't work until it's got all the muck off it. So there you go. It's just that carburetor's caught me out. You know, if I could have run with the side draft, then I would have done, but I just couldn't see, looking at the hole in the back panel of the imp, where that was going to sit. Hey chaps, it's Thursday lunchtime, bit of an update. My Weber carburetor's looking a bit cleaner. It's just come out of the tank. I give him a quick steam and airline, and there's a cheeky little Honda 90 carburetor made it in there as well. So they've just want putting back together. Over here this morning, I've had quite a good morning really. I've got a plan now for me engine. Now my rods arrived back, my 1200cc long rods. Got them and they've been rebushed by Mr. Rodwell. Beautiful job. So I thought we'll get a dry build on. I've had a head on it, checked the concentricity of the Wills rings to the liners, and then redialed it. So now what we're going to do is start working out the compression ratio. So what I've done is I put one piston in. I'm going to put some rings on it with some grease around them. At the moment, it's about a TDC, it's about 12 thou proud. So we can either turn it into an intruder piston, or we can machine the whole lot down and make it a low piston. It all depends on how many cc's we've got in total. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the piston down to about 5 thou below top dead center, which is where it'll run in the car when it's built, because I always run the pistons low. And then what we're going to do is bolt the head on, CC it, and see what figure we get. And then we know which way we're going with regards to either making the chamber bigger to lower the compression, or making it smaller to increase the compression ratio. So that's the next step. And then after that, we should be on a fairly straightforward rebuild. Everything goes back. See, it's all honed, it's clean. I've just got a bit of fettling to do with the mains. But yeah, I think we're just about there. All depending on what this ratio turns out, of course. If it ends up sky high, we'll have to start thinking a little bit about how we're going to deal with it. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Hey chaps, I've been playing with some numbers and I think I've got an answer. I know where I want to be now, which is good. So I've got a bit of a plan. What I've done here is I've just put the piston in with the crankshaft, and I've sat the piston just down from top dead centre, 5 thou low, which is where it'll run in the car in theory. Now that would be my preferred place to run it. So at that height, I've put a bit of grease around the Wills ring and just clamped it down dead gently, just pulled it on a little bit. So this is an actual CC size of the chamber, this. And I've gone in through the hole with my burette and I've filled it, the meniscus, that's my new big weld, to the bottom thread of where the spark plug sits. And I got 23.4 cc's in there, and I thought, this might be a bit high, this. Anyway, did some calculations, so I'll go through it with you. Basically, the engine is 74.5mm bore by 69.5mm stroke. That gives 1212 cc's. Obviously, we want to know one cylinder, so you divide it by 4, gives you 303 cc's. So next, what I wanted to do, well, we'll come to that bit in a minute actually. So it's 303 cc's plus the 23.4 gives you 326.4, yeah. And what that does then is that gives us the swept volume plus the space in the cylinder head, which was 23.4, and then we divide it by the space in the cylinder to find 1, and that's when I got the wonderful compression ratio of 13.9 to 1. Now, Simon would probably be quite happy with that. He just wanted to buy some rocket fuel to run it on or something, but realistically, it's going to be too high. That it'll just be dangerous. We have done a 14 to 1 for James, but it's different in this country because
obviously you might remember we had the temperature right under control. We ran it at like 55 degrees water, and it ran about 15 degrees for advanced max, and it had loads of torque. But yeah, it wasn't a good idea. So we're not going to run that. So I did some number crunching, and I thought, right, well, if the bore is 74.5 mil diameter, what is it at 1 millimeter? So it's 4.3 cc. So if basically what I'm trying to say is if I take 1 mil off the top of the piston, that'll give me 4.3 cc's of space in there. So I did that and did a bit of a calculation, but it ended up at 11 to 1. So I thought, right, we'll go halfway. So bore size, 0.5 mil. So take 20 thou off the top of the piston, 0.5 mil. That gives us 2.15. So I just changed the calculation basically. It was the sweat volume, 303, plus the chamber in the head, 23.4, plus the fact I'm going to take 20 thou off the piston, that's 2.15, and that gave us 328.5 cc's. But then, of course, we have to divide it by the why have I got 12.85 written there? That's blowing my mind, that. Divide it by, oh yeah, sorry. That shouldn't have that written in there. Should it? What's that? That's that plus that. Where have we got 12 point? Oh, it's 12.85 to 1. Because I've written it in the wrong place. What a dipstick. Right, sorry. So this calculation now equal 12.85 to 1. Right. Sorry, I'm back with you now. So we did the sweat volume plus the chamber in the head plus the 20 thou down, or 0.5 mil off the top of the piston, gave us 25.55, a total size of 328.5 cc's. So it would have been 328 divided by 25.55, and that's given us 12.85 to 1. So that's a nice high compression ratio to aim for. That will give us the torque that we want. It will make it a bit lively, as in if it gets it warm, it'll just do a piston. So we may have to just trim it a little bit more. We might go something like 25-30 thou. I'll do some more working out off the piston, so it's just to bring it into the mid 12s or low 12s, which is where I'd be happiest with it, to be honest with you. Just with it going abroad and them having such a high ambient temperature, the last thing we want is it putting a hole in the piston. So yeah, I'll carry on with this. I'll do some more numbers, and then I'll join you when I've got something exciting to say. Better, we're going to go 30 thou down the bore, which gives us 3.2 cc's. So it's 303 plus the 23.4 plus the 3.2 gives us 329.6 divided by these two added together, which is 26.6, 12.4 to 1. So that will be brilliant. That'll be my perfect ratio. That will be happy with that. Right, I'll crack on with doing some machining. Nearly home time, and I thought I'd have a quick look at this carb. Now I thought this was a degas. This is for the Rover, but in actual fact it isn't. I'll have to Google it tonight and find out what it is, but it's a 40 DFAV. God knows what that was fitted to. However, just had a right lucky escape. Down here is where the mains live, 2 little jets. Then you've got your emulsion tubes, these things here. They live in them holes. Much like a DCOE, it's just that rather than all the jets being attached to each other, they're all separate, and there's the air corrector that goes in the top. Now what happened was, I've gone to undo it, and it was obviously a bit sticky, and it just burst the screw. So luckily, because I had one of them out, I knew what size hole it was. I was able to whack this, it's a T8 tiny spline in it. I applied a bit of heat and it wound out. So I've got a pair of new main jets there. I'm going to drill them a little bit bigger, because obviously we're on a V8 3.5 litre. I think it'd be wise to, at this stage, just take it to, the 180s are going to take them to 2 mil. So that'll be that. Now, I'll just do a little bit of an explanation on how the carburetor works. Not that I have any real knowledge of how the carburetor works. All I know is this is the float level. So you've got the float controlled here,
The fuel comes in, the needle valve shuts it. That keeps a constant float height in here. And then this is the Venturi. So you can see just inside there the choke. The butterflies are 40mm, they're quite big on this. So the airspeed gets up through there, causes a depression, drags the fuel up the jet. The air corrector does something real clever with it. And then, yeah, emulsifies in there, or atomizes, should I say, not atomizes, yeah, atomizes, and then goes into the carburetor, into the engine. So it all works on the fact you've got airspeed going this way. This is an automatic choke, which I will be disconnecting because it's bound to be too rich for my liking when it's cold. And then various different Webers have different types of opening mechanisms. A lot of the Capri ones operated like a cam, so you go sort of 3/4 throttle on the first butterfly, and then a cam would open the second butterfly for, you know, for hard acceleration. But you drove around on the first choke just in normal traffic, and then later on they went to a vacuum operated second choke like on the XR2s. But this is old school, this, so it's on a mechanical gear. So when it opens, it's just wide open, and when it's closed, it's closed. So yeah, brilliant, nice and simple. I'm just going to put it back together. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to organise a kit, but I thought what we'll do for now is we should be able to make it work with what we've got. I did find another diaphragm, which was handy. Anyway, we'll put that back together. I've got my spares bits out, so I've got some bits and pieces there, and put it on the engine. And hopefully, if we can get far enough along tomorrow, we might be able to spend an hour trying to get the V8 to fire up so we can put it on Sunday night's video. I quite flippantly said before I will be disconnecting the auto choke, but there is a reason I can get away with that, and that's because this particular type of carb, I think they call them a double pumper. I've just poured some brake cleaner in here so I can test it, but this diaphragm here, it has like an acceleration pump which you can use to start the engine. So when you come to start it without a choke, you just literally do that, and you can put like a teaspoon of fuel in the manifold, which will help it to fire up from cold. And then if you haven't got the choke connected, you can just feather the throttle and it keeps on pumping fuel in. It's not going to be that lean that it won't be unhappy. You know, there isn't a choke on the ambulance that's got the V8 with this carburetor on, or with that's actually got a degas, but you just feather it a bit when it's cold and it's absolutely fine. 30 seconds later it'll run fine. So carry on with this now, drain that brake cleaner out, and then we'll get the top on, and tomorrow we'll try and run the engine. It's the big day. It's Friday morning. Before we get stuck into some proper work, I've decided we're going to just try and run the V8 up. So got Bernie here with me. Bernie's going to be the cameraman. He's just popped in to talk about gearboxes for his Husky. His Comet Imp van that he's restoring, that you've all seen on here. Now, since the last video of this that you saw, I did a bit of work last night. I put the alternator on, so we've got charging system now. We've got the tailpipe on. We haven't got a silencer. Put a coil, obviously. Put my posh cam covers on. We've cleaned the carb that you've just witnessed. That's on the top. All I've done, this is the breather. I've just poured neat fuel down there to fill the float chamber up because I don't want to run it for long. Now, Bernie reckons I should strap it down before we run it. I've literally got a jump pack and a crocodile clip and a wire going to the coil. So there's nothing on the tail end. And we're just going to see how we get on. Now, I'll try and hold it and run it at the same time. If you get scared, don't drop the camera, all right?
I'll try not to.
And then, I've got to be honest, Bernie, the plan was to put this in the Husky, but I've had a bit of a think to myself last night, and it isn't going to happen for National Weekend. There's no way I'm going to get that in, make bracketry to hold it, make a silencer. Also, I spent a bit of time on the internet last night looking at the legality of changing the engine, and it's on like a point system apparently before you have to get an IVA. Now, one good thing is because the engine is from the same period of time as the Hillman, it may be okay, but realistically I think we need to get an MOT on the Husky, and with having the winklers in it and all that, I just want to make sure it's all right. So I think we're going to kibosh it. We'll just run it now, then we'll leave it, get on with the other engine, the American 1200, get that organised, and yeah, we'll worry about it when we move units or something. Right, if you can hold the camera, mate. I don't know what's going to happen here, Bernie. It could be,
Stand well back.
it could be bad. Right, the throttle's definitely shut off. I can always grab this wire here if it doesn't look like it's going to behave. What's going on? Oh my God, it's going to go. Just got a feeling it might be a bit retarded. Now, I can't remember which way it goes round. I think it's the opposite way to an imp, isn't it? Because that's... Let me just see. Right, so that's going clockwise. So if I want to advance it, I've got to go that way. Just nip it up a little bit. Doesn't feel like it's far off. It's either got no fuel or it's about to go. Is it still red at the top, Bernie? Yeah.
It's still red.
It's still red, but still on. Yeah, sorry, you do know how to operate a camera, don't you? Right, you ready? It's alive, Bernie.
That made me jump.
Over advance that. Let me just top the fuel tank up with one of Bergerac's coffee cups.
See, it's very technical, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what though? What I really like is, I think the exhaust is going to sound lovely. It's a Will Parry. He said it's going to fire at every 90 degrees of rotation. We get a pulse at the tailpipe, which is going to make it sound smoother than the warble you get from a normal vehicle. Success, mate. You sounded a treat, didn't you?
Sounded good.
Excellent. Right, on with the American engine now. We can't carry on with this. We'll have to revisit it when that poor gearbox, I bet he's absolutely pantsing himself, isn't he?
No. 400 quid. No, 4 grand. 4 grand. I told you that's what
I...
it...
buy an immaculate one.
One then.
That's not immaculate.
Go and buy your immaculate one.
No. 400 quid for him now.
Are you not happy about that, Jack? No.
I started at 5, but it's come down to 1 because it's scrap.
It's,
right. Yeah.
I think he's insulting your Volvo. Do you know what he wants to do with it? He wants to...
Look at the one I just got in there. There's not a piece of rock anywhere, but a little bit on the driver's sill.
And how much do you want for that one?
I've stripped it.
Oh.
Ready for racing.
Are the seatbelts still in it? Bernie wants them.
Has it still got...
Oh, there was 2 seatbelts.
Have you still got that bit that goes on?
Can I send Bernie down?
Possibly. I've got a different boot for it then. Huh?
I'll send Bernie to see you.
Yeah, I did. I had 2 seatbelts for this.
Are they still in it?
I don't know. The lad might have put them. Take them out of that. You see the ones on the bars there going in the back window?
Yeah, that's what it wants. I've got them in the Husky.
Yeah, that's what we had.
Broke off from my 1200 for a minute because this classic Volvo outside. You might remember this. This is what took the space frame, probably about episode 25 or something, to get it sandblasted. We put it on the roof. Now Andy's come down to do some work on the ambulance because I'm taking the boys to Gold Cup this weekend. Hello, Andy. Can you say hello to your brother? He's a subscriber.
Hello, Rick. Go and see what he's got on the bench in there.
Oh,
Have you put that on there? Have you put that on there yet?
The V8, yeah, is a big.
The V8 that you started up whilst holding onto the exhaust. So that one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Is that already?
Did you like that? Tell us about your apprentice. Who's this? Flynn.
To meet
Mate.
YouTube.
Nice.
We're live.
Oh wow, we're live, mate. Can you not swear, please, Andrew? I'll have to dub that bit out. Oh, right, can you just be serious? I've heard it all.
All right,
out.
be serious.
Right, what you doing here? You're making me a shelf for me.
Sorry, you're asking me to be serious and describe the job you've given me at the same time.
What it is, just let me explain to the YouTubers. This is me ambulance. That's the boys' beds up there. I'm down here. We've got the posh seats in with the seat belts and all sorts of video control cars and stuff. We've got the dining area. But
isn't that bed though? Wasn't that the little bed where we made a thing for the edge?
But Dougie's too long for it now, so Dougie lives up there above the cab. So what I was going to say, Andy is turning the toilet into a narrow toilet because we had all this wasted space, and then we're going to put shelves here. Because when we go racing next year, I want to put a spare engine and gearbox in there on shelves and put doors on it as well, Andy, so that the vapour can't upset my wife. Yeah. You know, the smell of engines and petrol.
So you want to stop the vapours from the toilet getting into your engines, don't you?
The toilet vapours don't worry me, it's the petrol. Through the kids and all that, you know. Anyway, so can you do that for me, do you think, yeah?
So,
mate, is that sweat or you've been swimming from a bucket of water over here?
I've decided I don't want to be all... Yeah, it's really hot and we're working in a tiny room.
Mate, you've got this all wrong. You should be telling the boy what to do. He should be the one that's sweating.
Oh, right, okay.
Right, well done anyway.
You direct him.
I'll leave you summarise today now, Andy, because I've got to...
What? You can't summarise? We're not finishing yet.
No, I know, but look at
that.
What
before and after?
I want the space. Look at the space you've created for me there. That's great. I've got to go and sit down and do my Shrigleytube because I'm going to Gold Cup for the weekend. There've been no 4G there, so I've got to upload while I'm at work.
Well, can you come back? You've done it before. Flynn pointed out, I never do a before and after picture, but you just filmed the before.
Yeah.
So are you still going to be here when we've finished?
I'll tell you what, I'll put the... No, because I'm going to have to upload now. I'll put the after...
So you'll have an after in a bit.
On the Gold Cup video, how's that? So you can ring your brother and ask him to send you a snapshot of it. Because I know you don't watch Shrigleytube, do you? You're too busy.
I try, but then you put like AI music on it and I couldn't... You know, I was enjoying it and then you put AI stuff on it. Well, you need self-censoring yourself so you can put that on YouTube.
We've had to stop saying... hello YouTubers as well.
Why?
Because it upset one of my viewers.
Why?
Yeah, because I say it about 35 times, don't I? In the
Hi
day.
YouTube. Hi YouTube. Hi YouTube.
Right,
I'm
over.
Hi,
Thank you, Andy. Okay, YouTubers, I've calmed down enough now to be able to talk about my engine for a second. Just finished doing the head for Simon's American engine, so that's in the pot wash now. So that's all good. We've got a good plan for next week, but we'll talk about that in a second. Now, I did briefly mention before it fired up about the firing pulses, and William explains it to me as being a polo mint that goes down each cylinder exhaust pipe and then into the collector. Now, on a V8 normally they've got like an offbeat idle, you might notice it, and that's because between the exhaust pulses there's a big break and then you've got some close together. He has explained it to me and I do sort of understand what he's saying. It's because the exhausts aren't paired from side to side, so normally it's have, you know, 4 into 2 into 1, or 4 into 1 on that side, and a 4 into 1 on that side. Whereas what he's done is he's joined them underneath here, and basically all the polo mints come here in order. That's what he's trying to say to me. So they all come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whereas on a standard engine it would normally go sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, big gap, 7, 8. You know. And that's why you get the bob, 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 bob on the V8. Anyway, I'm not going to touch this now because full concentration is going to be on the 1200 race engine. I had a big think about it last night after we worked out the compression ratio. And what I thought rather than yak a load of material off the piston here to get the compression ratio correct, what we'll do is we'll make the chamber what I will consider to be the best shape. You've got to remember one thing about the surface area in the chamber. It is heavily controlled by the temperature of the coolant. So I was wondering by increasing it. Well, anyway, well, I'll tell you what, I won't say any more. What I'll say is, let's just see how it dynos up. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take a minimum lick off these, put them back in the engine, put the head back on now, finish the head, and we'll get a compression ratio. But that will be Monday morning now before we do that, because we're off to Alton Park Gold Cup now. To enjoy the weekend with the kids. So yeah, I'll do a video from Alton Park Gold Cup as well and load it up on Monday or Tuesday. And on Saturday night I'm going to Bradford
as I'm sure you might be aware, because I put the advert on last week, Saturday night semi-finals, so that's going to be absolutely awesome. I'll also do a stock car video and put that on midweek as well. Right, okay, I'm over and out. Congratulations, YouTubers, you've made it to the end of Shrigleytube. Quite a long one tonight, so fair play. I was conditioning you last week with your 2-hour one, so tonight's was a bit short, so you should have made it quite easily. How good did that sound, eh? Well excited. Can't wait to get it in the Husky and go for a rip round in it. It'd be good, that. But obviously, time allowing, we'll get to it soon. Right, thanks for watching. Really appreciate your attendance. I look forward to seeing you all on Tuesday night when we'll have some stock car videos and some videos from Gold Cup. Bye for now.